But
Hey, by the way, Matt, your cuz was flexing some interesting leaders
Ooh. Did he
on
showing you off Bulma?
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
for Bulma.
He snapped a photo for me too.
is this the type of leaders that I think?
Hell
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
And it was
Proportions just
on
fucking bonkers,
Huffman's,
eh?
on Huff Smith stream.
I got my Vidal one. I put my money where my mouth is.
I was supposed to have a Bulma one, but yeah, no comment on who received that one.
I'm still waiting for the Krillin one, so
Do you think it's bald down there too?
it's he's a tripod.
He has like those 6 little dots on his sack.
the incense burns. Okay, was it fucking? It's 31 now, I think. I've been saying the number wrong every video, and I think it gets funnier each time I look back at it, and it's like, yeah, sure, it's whatever number it could be. But welcome to Team Berserk Talk number 31. And yeah, this is going to be another lighter one here. We're going to be talking about how Dragon Ball Fest went, and also the state of the meta. How it is currently, now that stuff has been kind of settling down into what it's probably going to be like for the rest of the Realm of the Gods. I know we got that ultimate deck on the horizon, but we've started seeing some set 17 spoilers. But yeah, Jay, I know you wanted to mention something to Bandai, so by all means.
Okay, thanks for the spot, Lucas. I just want to say thank you to Bandai for the Canadian Dragon Ball Fest event. We do need more events in Canada, so it's a great start. Hopefully we could get Canadian regionals and then, eventually segue into a Canadian Nats and have it completely separate from the Americans. Or, have more events in Canada or where the Nats are closer to the Canadian border. So it's not a, 8-hour flight and $2,000 worth of expenses.
That was beautiful. But yeah, on that note, it's nice to see that Canadian exclusive event. It's nice to see that Jay is our new resident Bruce Lee dub as well too. The phone has turned him into that. But yeah. So who here played Fest? I know at least Canadian Fest. It was 3 of you guys. I know Yuvraj. He went out and he got what, 5th place?
Kick some ass anyway.
Was he top 4?
Top 4 maybe. I know he was closer. He was very close to the top there.
Yeah, his loss was to Armando in the top.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, first round of top 8. So we'll say top 8.
He was
6?
6.
Okay, cool.
6th. Well, congratulations to him. He had to go to bed, on the call, busy man. But let's Matt. You were talking about your top 16 there with Walk us through it.
Yeah, I'll kind of give just like a quick overview. Like I thought it went really well. Like a big shout out to like all of my opponents for the 6 rounds that we did get through. Everyone was super cool in terms of the I guess the actual battles themselves. I played against Starter Vegeta, Xeno Gogeta, which was bonkers. That match is super difficult, I think, for AOD. Just warping away Bobbity every turn, so it just I always felt like I was behind the 8 ball. On that match, shout out to Oprah Winfrey in that match. He and I have been staring at each other from across the battlefield for the last 12 weeks at the Super Circuit, never running into each other. We were just staring at each other from across the field, never ever battling. And he wiped the floor with me. He didn't even blink. He swatted me away like a poor fly. Then I played against 21, and I won. I actually played 21 twice that day. I won one and I lost one. Yellow Sin was another match, and then again 21. My second last match, and my last match was, what was my last match? Yellow Trunks. Yeah, that was a little bit of a grind for me as well. That one I should be like a little bit more aggressive. I think the problem with me playing AOD is I usually do play is a lot more sleepy.
It's funny. You're mentioning that. You're talking about AOD. You're talking about playing this deck. First of all, it's just saying Oprah Winfrey. We're staring. I'm literally, my tongue is twisted up. Oprah Winfrey staring across the battlefield, and then you're talking about AOD while we can hear a mobile or whatever those whatever those spinning baby things are in the
You can hear
background.
that?
And then you're just talking about this absolutely just epic run there. I'm just like, oh look, his sleepy decks are coming back to haunt him. They're just in there. They're just like, yeah, no, come on, go to Hadshiak.
Did you think the music was just in your head for
I
most
honestly
of that
was.
discussion?
I'm just anytime I see you put down a deck, I'm just like, that's all I hear. I just say, okay, it's time to go to fucking bed now.
Sorry, I'm also watching the little one on the
Oh,
on the baby
It
monitor.
was. I just thought it was fucking hilarious. I'm just like, that is the theme song for Matt's favorite decks. But now we got Bardock. You see,
But I think like overall, like I think it went like really well. I'm not sure like everyone else's like experience, but I had like a really good experience with all my opponents, and the time like went really well. It was cool to see like a lot of names, like recognizable names from different weeklies, especially like the Tuesday night super circuit. So I don't know, it was kind of cool to see how big the community is. Like it's like the biggest small town there is, I guess, like because Canada's humongous. But to see like so many familiar faces was cool. So I had a great time, and it seemed a little more casual, which was good. You still want to go for the wins, obviously, but because I think we were talking before this, and the fest maybe wasn't as like high profile as like a regionals. So I don't know. It was nice to I don't know, not be as sweaty out there. So yeah, I think it went really well.
no, that's fucking awesome. But so you're saying
You're fucking awesome.
Don't start talking like that. We're gonna have to close the webcams and make the track over. But anybody else that played in Fest want to talk about their experiences?
Sure. So I played KP. I think I came 18th or 17th. I went 4-2. First round I won. My opponent's he was in the middle of something. He's like, just take the win. I'm like, sure thing, bud. Second game I faced a U7 Goku. I ended up losing. I lost a dice roll. And it was running a very similar list to my U7 list, and I just couldn't draw the cards I needed, and yeah, it was just a wash, which is fine. Third game, what did I face? Oh yeah, I think I faced I think it was Yellow Trunks. Absolutely easy matchup for KP. Like you just swing. It doesn't even matter. Like I completely forgot to put BMS in my sideboard, and then I played the match. I'm like, wait, I don't even BMS. I just attack. Like he can't do anything to me. And then the third game was against Xeno Trunks. Yet again, like Xeno Trunks is a cool deck, but like it doesn't put out the pressure that Gogeta Xeno does, so it doesn't do any. It's not threatening enough against King Piccolo. So I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna keep swinging and not caring, and that's all I did. Like, oh, your petrifications don't care. Kai negates, I don't care. Just I'm gonna keep attacking you. Have a good day, sir. And then the fourth game, was it fourth game? I don't know. Yeah, I think it was like the fifth game, maybe. Yeah, I think it was the fifth game. I was facing another Yellow Trunks. No. The fifth game, I faced an SS4 Vegeta. I was doing well early game, and then the guy did 2 D magics into a baby's minion. Then I passed. Then he played the Boo Unison. Then back to my turn. He then did baby's minion again, and then he did like a UI Kamehameha or something, and then he did like the next turn after that, the whole cycle again. He did Ready to Rumble, and then after that again, it was just like the guy just had every answer in the book against me. And then the game after that was against Yellow Trunks for the last round. Yet again, it's an absolutely easy matchup, and it's like no shot at the players. It's just the matchup it's too easy for KP in all honesty. So I ended up going X. Well, I went X2, and I came 18, so I scrubbed out just barely.
So why the KP? Just
I don't know why.
aggro, because I know the last regional. Did you play U7 in both of them, or?
I only played the one regional. I played
You only
U7
played
and
the
came
one,
third,
okay.
right? So I should have. So, in all honesty, I'm kicking myself for playing KP because I've not practiced the deck enough to have just played it like that. But I mean, it's fast. It's more. It's supposed to be more for fun. I had actually was intending to play Blue Bojack. I'd used the randomers. I'm okay. I'm either play KP or Blue Bojack or U7 Goku. The randomizer on the final roll landed on Blue Bojack, and it landed on Blue Bojack 5 times. I rolled it 7 times, and I'm like, cool. And then for some reason, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna play KP.
Foolish. You would have won
Foolish.
with Blue Bojack easily. There's
Fate
no.
punished me.
You see, that would have been the biggest flex ever too. It's just like, wait, what deck? They released blue decks? I thought after Soul Striker they stopped doing that. I don't know. And then bada bing right there.
So yeah, exactly. Like fate punished me for going against the randomizer. That, or if I just went U7 Goku from the get-go, probably would have done better. But yeah, it was a fun experience. It was really cool to see Armando in the final in the first place, to see Fissel second place. Like I was hard rooting for them. Like either way, like even though the finals was against each other, it's like, you know what, I want both of them to win. They're both home race. Why not? And then obviously Nathaniel was in there, Jason was in there, like
He
Uvaj
wasn't.
was in there.
He wasn't playing Beerus though. That's
He wasn't playing Beerus. That's true.
foolishness. That he would have won easily. No one would have a clue what's going on.
And then you play the 3 weeks in a row and be like, all right, quad.
Yeah. Just squat. Wait, when do I get my turn? That's the trick. You don't. Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, it was alright event overall. I'm still kicking myself in the pants a bit, but that's fine.
Fair enough. And I think Jay, you're the last coin in the pot here. Let me take a guess. You played Sin?
Yeah, I played Sin.
There. Wow, that was a hard guess. But how did it go?
Oh man, terrible. First game, I won it. Didn't see my 9 drop or my ball until turn 3, so that was kind of interesting. And then after that, big shout out to Anthony. He played U7 Goku, great opponent, good game. U7 aggro and all the negs and all the new minus 30k top 1 gets rid of the 9 drop. You got to make sure you have all 4 9 drops in turn 1. Oh man, it is rough. But I played against Faisal. Congrats to Faisal finishing second. And he teched in what Barrier told him to tech in against Sin. And he used it against me and Aspira on stream. And, you just go, well, it's turn 6. I can't do anything. So I'm just going to have to pass with 6 energy up.
You got Dark King Flash, bro.
I was going to say the card, Jay. Tell everybody the card that was used against you, so we all know to use it.
Where did Dark King Flash hurt you?
Yeah, Dark King Flash. It hurt me quite deeply. No, that was a solid Tekken choice by Faisal. Thank you, Barrier. I think Faisal wanted to thank you too. But yeah, huge shout out to Armando. Congratulations on the first place. Hell of a guy. Hell of a KPE pilot.
No. Well said. I know the American guys here are definitely falling asleep. They're looking at us like, yeah, these fucking Canadians, they're stupid events, whatever the fuck. But that segues.
Apparently being in a Canadian team doesn't mean that you're Canadian. So couldn't play.
Yeah.
Well, we're part of a global team, so we should be able to play in every event.
It's
Tell
called
that to the TOs.
Yeah, it's called getting
Except for
named
no one made
sometime.
it to any of the American events, which is funny.
Yeah, that's just how it be, how it do. Jay, what were you gonna say? I heard that breath. You were gonna do a nice long one.
I don't think I want to fly down to Texas or Miami right now. I'll take my vacation for later.
Definitely wanted to go to Miami, but I had stuff to do that weekend, so it's all good.
Yeah, I heard people enjoyed those events. So Dragon Ball Fest seems like it was a success. So that's great to hear. But with Fest and it's just been the 2 regionals. We haven't had anything else secret hiding up, right? So with those 3 events out of the way, the meta has kind of settled into its place. We've seen the return of KP. We're seeing that control is kind of losing out more than ever since Icarus got hit. Aggro's starting to become more common, and Gogeta Xeno really likes this meta. King Piccolo likes this meta. That U7 Goku as well. I haven't seen anybody rock Jiren yet, but I have a funny feeling as long as it's not facing Gogeta Xeno, definitely can put in some pressure. Briar, I've seen you.
There was a Jiren that came first, I believe, in one of the European Game Fests, actually.
Really? Okay. Okay, fair enough. That's because that's another deck too. As long as it's not facing hard removal, it can fucking put in so much pressure. It's just if you face against Gogeta Zeno, you're not doing anything. You're just oh wait, you want me to keep a card on board? Yeah, I can't do that for you. But yeah, I don't know if anybody, Alejandro, got any comment. I know Deborah has been people have been showing that it can do some work, and I know you're one of them, so
So yeah, I was a hater of Deborah when I read it, and in all honesty, it reads so fucking horrible when you're like, oh, I have to spirit boost and bottom deck a card, and like that's a steep cost. But you're not looking at the whole chain. And when Carl was the one that said, hey, like I'm gonna play Deborah, and I was like, okay, let's try it. And we started testing uh against hand control. You have 8 cards in hand, like, and it didn't make a lot of sense. But Deborah, between all the chains, you keep drawing cards. And the good and fun thing about Deborah is his alternate awakening condition, which is if your opponent is awakened, you can awaken and go down to 4 life. So in that deck, I utilize life more as a resource to utilize and abuse the King Summon Mekikabura. Then I bring out my Toa, my Gravy, and it's just a bunch of 15Ks swinging at turn 1, turn 2, if you don't go first. But it can put a lot of pressure, and I've been getting people down to like 1 or 2 lives in turn 2. And if they don't get me in a weird clapback, then it's done turn 3. I haven't tested against KP and very aggressive decks, but I think it's going to be a fun deck. And if we want to try to make it work, this is the meta to do it, because aggro is thriving right now. And the other thing is that people see the leader and they don't think that it's an aggro deck.
I didn't
People think
that.
it's more of a control deck, and you can pilot it a little bit more control, but it loses a lot of potential when you do that. On the grindier games, you're playing for your secret rare, which I play Robelu, because it's searchable in that deck with most of the triggers that you already do. And you close out with her and the new trunks from the warp. So you do Robelu at 4 energy, and then to close out the game, you just bring out the trunks for 2. And it can put a lot of pressure. That deck it's not as bad as people thought.
Did you tech in the Overwhelm Goten?
I did not.
See, that works beautifully. See, that's one with Rebello specifically, because you're getting out for free, right? And that 1 extra energy, you still have 2 to play with if you're not using Trunks, right? That's another thing, because what, it gets double strike, I believe, and 10k or something like that. And he's dual attack. So when it's brought out with Rebello, I think it's worth it. On its own, it's definitely not.
I'm running Demigra, Overwhelm Demigra. And fighting against Fate. Those are the 2 best targets to bring out with Robelu, even in any deck that runs Robelu.
No thwarting.
No thwarting. You could, but you don't want to run the risk of not being able to do much with it. I mean, you can overwhelm for 6, sure, but I honestly think in this deck specifically, Deborah,
Fighting against Fate
and Demigra are one of the best ways to go.
Okay.
But besides that, I started dabbling on red after BBR topped,
Really?
and
You're
after I pulled
jumping
the
ship?
SCR. So
Jumping.
just in case the ship sinks.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Here's Matt flexing.
Yeah. there's-
3, 2.
Yeah. There you go. That's where they all went to. Instead of pulling 3 Kais and 3 Miras, you know. How many Kais did you pull, Jay? Was it 3 or was it 2?
2 Miras, 2 Kais,
2 Miras, 2 Kais. That's what it was.
and 1 Vegeta.
1 Vegeta.
Madman.
There you go. Is this Josh's time to flex and talk about the meta?
There you go. It's his time.
Oh, he's
So,
grabbing us.
No, I've been on my. Just got home. All right. So personally, I've been playing Trunks Vegeta. It has been topping, but it's definitely not as strong as Icarus was. And with the aggro format, it's like almost an instant lose against U7. And then I haven't really faced KP, so I wouldn't know. But you have to have your answers, but they have answers to your answers, so it's really, really hard. But right now, I had built KP just to learn a little bit more. Other than that, yeah, red aggro is in a very good spot. No. Yeah, that's definitely tier 1. I wouldn't say 0, but tier 1 is all the red aggro decks. And then Gogeta Zeno tier 1 as well, because that's a hard counter to all the other ones. Or not really a hard counter, but they have the slight advantage.
A little more power and removal on top of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Vegeta's just got better. Right? Like it's pretty wild to be like, wow, that deck was like really good to begin with, and then just like some generic, even small pieces, right? Like when I think of even like being tapped out isn't as scary anymore to have access to the counter attacks and have the token blocker come out to play. So there's just like pieces that it's just unreal good still.
I think for KP, they need to make one change, and it's not to KP itself; it's to the Unison.
Once
Because-
per
Once
turn?
per turn.
Yeah, once per turn. I think that one change could make KP a bit more fair to the current meta standings.
That's definitely the once per turn definitely would be, because that's still ridiculous, especially if you're playing anything, trying to play anything defensively, and it's just like, oh, I had these 15Ks on my board, but I used one negate. Oh, there's one gone. Oh, I used another. There's another one gone. But back on the Gogeta thing as well too, Gogeta being stronger. You know what? Thank God they uniqued the True Fighting Spirit. Because that on top of the negates and stuff, it's like, oh, great. So now they're still aggressive as hell, and they got defense. It's just like, oh, Lord. Which they're going to play aggressive anyway, but they have that out in the KP matchup, anything like that, where someone can actually clap back.
That's the beauty part about Gogeta Xeno, right? Is the ability to like shift gears so fast to be like okay, I'm gonna be like I've played against like Broly, Red Broly BR, and he has to crit himself to like do a lot of his chain, and going into turn 2, he's got 2 life left. He's like, well, that sucks. He's like, I'm pretty much cooked here. And then just like go into like a different style of play. If the game is going to go a little bit longer, like you still have like those defensive options to do a little bit more like control, or like you have removal with like that. Oh my god, what's the blocker's name that gets rid of the with barrier?
That one, the punching downwards, fucking.
That's the one. Yes, that's the one.
16K 6 drop. That's what we'll call him. He's the blocker Gogeta. Everyone knows him coming down and warping your barrier. Oh, bada bing, it's gone.
Fearless Fusion or something, or Fearless Fusion?
Yeah, there's Fearless Fusion. There's Marvelous Might. There's Sword in the Dark Empire. So I'm assuming it's probably Fearless Fusion. And then there's the Martial Melee, the one that nobody uses.
Mm.
Very cool winter art though. I got to give it that.
Yeah, that one's awesome.
They
I will
just have to
say
make
this,
it at one energy cost, and everyone will use it.
There you go. What were you saying, Briar?
I will say this though, like definitely Gogeta Xeno can pressure a lot of the decks, but U7, I don't fear Gogeta Xeno at all because I have easy access to things such as After Image as soon as turn 1. You can run Realm of the Gods. Like as long as you survive the crackback, you're just negging that dude, and that's it. And the moment you can establish your board state, they're not breaking through, and their late game board state doesn't matter. You literally just play the 4-drop, the Goku, and you're like, yeah, neg 35k. See you later to your board. I'll swing. Oh, you have petrification? I don't care. I'm still gonna rip another card out of your hand. Like you have so many ways to keep yourself alive with U7 Goku that it doesn't matter at all. And then the other thing too is with Gogeta Xeno, it's a deck that also does put itself to 4 life really early. So with like a red deck that can swing really hard back, it's not necessarily very safe for them to do things the way they normally do. And like for example, especially with like the Jiren Videl combo, like no, like if I survive to turn, you don't kill me by turn 3. I'm playing Jiren. I'm gonna awaken. I'm gonna have one open for like whatever counterplay, and then like, oh cool, you're gonna play your Gogeta thwarting. Cool. I'm gonna play this Goku and this Jiren auto. It's dead. Oh, you're gonna play the. You're gonna use Miraculous Fusion. Cool. Don't care. Oh, you're gonna play the 1-drop stuff. And okay, counter window 1 Videl minus 20k both the 1-drops. Like, there's so many like little ways to answer a lot of their things that it really doesn't matter what they do. It's just you just have to survive the first 2 turns, and then after that, it's like cool. Don't care.
That seems to be what it is with U7, right? Because U7, it can be it's an aggro deck, but especially in these Gogeta Xeno matches, they're gonna cut themselves down to 4 anyway, and after that point, Gogeta doesn't really get stronger. It can play all its stuff from turn 1. Like it's got its strongest stuff out on the board as early as like turn 3 can have a whole board full, whatever. Like from that point on, they're playing an Overwhelm, like once per turn, maybe the blocker Gogeta, maybe some 1-drops. Like it's not like it's we got to get to turn 4 so I can play this card. No, there's nothing like that in Gogeta. But in U7 Goku, it's just like, okay, now we're opened up to Secret Rare, we're opened up to the SR, we're opened up to like the Jiren Videl combo. Maybe we're going nuts like you did and go Hanks SCR. Like there's so many more options the later it goes with U7, but Gogeta just doesn't have that.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Another thing too with like a lot of the events that happened recently too. Jiren also, like I said earlier, came first in Europe. That was really huge. Red overall is looking to be in a good spot. I believe Chris Spencer did fairly well recently with U7 Gohan. So like a lot of red decks are doing well. Like this is definitely like a good red meta. But there are other answers too, right? Like Yellow Trunks is unfortunately not going to do well against red decks in general. Like KP doesn't give a crap. He's just going to keep swinging through everything. U7, it can sort of slow it down, but only by like a turn or 2, and then U7 can deal with Trunks. And like Sin can be a bit weird for U7. It isn't like an auto lose matchup, but it just gets a little weird where depending on who draws what, it may be a 50-50, but like U7 does have answers to even like the 9-drop Sin. It's just like if Sin can survive to turn 6, like they're good, or if you're doing aggro Sin and you're able to go first, you can probably kill U7 on their turn 2. Same with KP. You can probably kill KP on their like turn 2 even. So really it's just dependent on that. And then the other thing too with like Sin into KP, you can play the 4-drop and make it so the KP leader can't swing, and you can literally just stall their awaken by like 2 turns, put the KP player to like 3 life, and then swing with the triple strike and just dump your hand, and like KP is probably fucked because they can't awaken. They awaken at 2 life unless they have 2 life face up, but they won't be able to because you make it so the leader can't swing.
It seems like you've had some experience in that.
Yes, yes, I have. I've been on the receiving end, so I can say that with pure confidence. Let's just say. Another thing too that I found interesting recently was I think somebody had placed really well with Blue Baby, so apparently that's on its way back. Yeah. And Big O Notation has been killing it, and I mean absolutely killing it with Blue Bojack. I've been trying out his list. It's fantastic. It's so much fun.
Fucking
Like,
horrifying. That whole Tapion Unison pre-side. Oh, dog. That hurts
bro,
so bad. I
this
got
man is so
smacked by
cracked
it.
out. He doesn't run God Sealing or D Magics in the deck. Like, this man is cracked out.
Hey,
Okay,
that-
like
He's
it's crazy.
playing the leader for what it is. You can't counter
Yep.
whatever in the back. Use your whatever from your energy, that counter guy. But yeah, shout out to Tom Smith for that Tapion tech, because that shit's ridiculous.
Tapion's
Yeah.
sick. And then like even other blue decks, like we saw Vegeta do. I think it came first in like Australia regional, I think it was, or one of the Game Fests. SS4 came first. SS4 Vegeta, yeah. So like that's been doing pretty well. Soul Striker's been topping a bit. Like the meta is fairly diverse, and King Cold's been doing surprisingly okay too. Like there's been a few tops with that. Red Bulma's been rearing its head a bit. Like it's a weird meta right now. Like even Android 21 is.
With Red Bulma, the problem with Red Bulma is that with the Game Fest, it was what 40 minutes plus 10 or 35 plus 10,
30
something
plus,
like
yeah.
that. Bulma can go to like turn 8, 9 before they finish off their opponents.
Yep.
So it's not
No,
a
exactly.
consistent-
Without Fu, yeah, that's the problem. It doesn't have Fu no
Yeah.
more. Now it's just like,
That's true.
I'm just gonna make you want to leave. That's what we're gonna do here. I'm just gonna play that. Maybe if we're crazy, I'll run that Goku Frieza SCR, but I doubt it. We're just gonna go. We're gonna have a million blockers, and so unless you have a way to wipe my entire board, ignoring barrier, good luck.
Mm-hmm.
Kami, I guess, is the right answer. I guess, and that's
Kami is a good
situation.
choice.
Kami
Yeah,
is the
that-
right.
But the only problem with Kami though is most like Red has so many counterplays that hit it on the auto, like not on the counterplay itself, but like play this card then neg.
Right.
Mhm.
So like I don't know, it's a tough one for Kami. Even like there are cards that can do. But I'd say the meta is pretty. I'd say it is a fairly diverse meta. Like obviously the top decks are the top decks. Like KP is obviously, in all honesty, it's top dog, right? Then like I'd probably say like Gogeta, Xeno, and U7 are like bumping heads, but like KP is definitely top dog. But it's still like a pilot heavy deck. Like yeah, it does a lot of good things, but if you're not sequencing right, it's really hard to play properly and optimally. And the deck can brick. Like I played it enough now that I can tell. Like with confidence, like there are so many times where like you have the most suboptimal hand in the universe after mulligans and everything, and you have to like just sequence in like certain ways to bring yourself back. But then once you're in it, like you're gonna win it. But the other biggest thing too, the biggest boon for Red, in all honesty, is that Vegeta SCR. Like it is literally the best Red SCR in the game, and probably one of the top, I'd say probably top 4 SCRs in the whole game in general. Like probably Hatch and Kai and Pan are up there, and then like Vegeta because you have to tap 4, and like it can be answered a little more easily than the other ones. But like the ability for Red to just straight up reset a board state is absolutely insane. And if your opponent is not clearing your board state already as Red, you just play the Vegeta like, oh, you have Unison? Don't care. Or you have this? Don't care. Just wipe that stuff and just go ham with everything else that you have. Like it's way, way, way too good for the color right now. It's like the best card in the color. Period.
Damn. Yeah, it's definitely just especially Red can get you down to 1 life pretty easy. I got the energy. Yeah, it's game over, man. Like I got deflect.
Barrier.
You're not doing much. I don't need to swing. I just get rid of them. And then there you go. There's your win. That actually happened to me today. But yeah, that was in KP. That wasn't even U7. Sorry, what?
With Lucio Dagendorf.
Yes. That was his dog was coaching him, so I don't count that win. It was a nice, cute black lab, but that was you see, he was going near his ear, he's whispering. He's just like, yeah, you're gonna side in these cards against Zamasu, okay? Anything that minuses, it'll be fucked. But any like closing thoughts on the meta here? Like the only other thing is I know Floopy, I think he got 4th one of the regionals with SS4, which myself playing that deck, I think still the last 2 weeks was 3-0 each. I think the one was the time rule with the guy where I should have just took the win. I should have just been an asshole and took the win. but I didn't. But that deck definitely is stronger than it like leads on. Like, it is definitely up there. I don't think it's tier 1, maybe tier 2. Like, but it
S is for
S
which
is
one?
for Rainbow Bardock.
Oh, Rainbow Bardock. Okay.
You charge, you get effects. Unisons are not a thing against that deck. You got your Bunison. You got maybe this new GT one. We'll go into the red spoilers when they're all out, but this new GT one might be the only one you can't clear in fucking one turn. But being it,
Markers.
yeah,
You
no, go on.
you go up to 4 Roshi and just Roshi green.
There you go. That's true. You can do that. But yeah, I just think the utility, and then as long as you're not playing, even if you are playing against blue, you can still clear the Unison so they can't God Seal your 10 drop or your 8 drop, and then just taking in a thwarting or an SS4, like fighting against Fate because it's searchable in the deck as well too. And that Unison, nobody really runs it, but definitely, at least as a side deck, I run it as a 2 of just because I'm a scrub, but especially into Sin Shenron and Xeno Gogeta, if you don't have a lot of stuff to do early, you got the 9 drop out, you swing with that Unison, and then you just -1, and then as long as it's greater than their energy, it's going to the warp. Like, it definitely puts in work, and then late game, if you see it, it's just basically another overwhelm. You play it for 1 energy, and it could be up to like 30k. And it's definitely won me some games already, probably a couple of games just from that Unison alone, because 1 energy, and you still have the other stuff where there's like, I'm not going to negate because they have so much energy open and you have absolutely fucking nothing in hand. You just dump your whole hand on that and just tap, whatever, all my 1Ks. But yeah, that deck definitely is seeing more play than I thought it would, and actually doing better than I thought it would. And there we go. There's the TCG medals. What is that? Is it Rainbow Prismatic? What's that version of the leader called? Or is that the only one?
Rainbow, the prismatic rainbow.
Yeah, there you go. You can see all the colors there. But yeah, and of course, just playing the deck, all the cards look absolutely fucking mint. That's absolutely beautiful looking deck at all the cards. But yeah, that was my piece there. Teching in the Supreme Kai just because I pulled it. That saved me one of the matches. Was just playing it, activated battle, sending away. It's just like, okay, buddy, swing. Go for your aggro shit. It was against, that's what won me to get in the top 8 for Thursday. It was against a Videl player who had a fucking ridiculous Videl deck. That was nuts. That was probably one of the best games I've had in a long time. And it was just Videl, and he's just like, yeah, this is my only deck. I bring it to regionals, bring it to this, and he's just perfected the deck to make it aggro shit. And it's horrifying.
I did play against somebody at the 401 Booster Box tournament in person. They had a Videl deck. That was an intense matchup. Bear was there for it. Holy shit, does that deck go wide?
Could have been the same guy, honestly.
Not a
Yeah, and
chance.
he did. And like he I don't know. I thought he did a really good job with that deck. Took Sin Shenron to its limit, and I even cleared the field like 2 times game 3, and even then it was right to the wire.
No, maybe Videl, maybe Green can sneak in. Like, I know we said King Cold, and that's basically the only green deck right now, and still it's green, so is it really a deck? Now that Cell Surge isn't a thing, even though it wasn't really green either, that was just, okay, this is just the leader for hand control.
Solitaire.
Yeah, this is, you say there, and how many cards in hand? Okay, perfect. Now I know I just do some math, and how much energy do I need to make you fucking cry? Yeah, that's everyone's feeling towards that.
Yeah, Videl can do a lot of damage. Like the rare Gohan, the deflect double strike dual attacker. Its permanent is like, I think it's like whenever you battles involving this card, when you combo with a skillless card, it's basically like
Yeah,
a
super
10k combo instead of like a 5k combo. And I remember I used this against one of my buddies, like when Videl first came out, and he let the swing through, and I'm like, wait, you're at 2 life. He's like, yeah, and you let the swing through? Yeah. I'm like, okay. I literally dumped my hand to like 140k, and I still had like 6 cards in hand.
And you
It's
can
like-
swing again after it's a dual attack.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm like, what is this? This is not okay. How why was this printed? How? Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because it
That's a-
not only does it do all that, it also like grabs one card from grave, puts it in the bottom of your deck, and then grabs you another like card from grave and adds it to your hand or something like that, if I remember correctly. Like
Yeah,
you're
that's
literally
exactly-
you're playing the card, you're going plus like you're going net zero, because normally when you play a card you're going -1, you're going net zero, and then you're actually putting something in your deck. But then if you run the same in unison, you just grab that card, so you've actually gone +1 by playing this guy. So like it's actually so much value. Like the deck actually has a lot of hidden value. It's just it's green. So like it's green.
Come
Sucks.
come play against my Nudie Vidal.
There we go. See, now Matt's here and he's like, people are doing shit with Vidal. I have my chance.
I have it. It's over here.
And,
If I was wearing pants, I'd go get it, but here we are.
We'll wait till the cameras are off. Oh, like everyone else, and I'm done recording. Then you go bend over and pick up that leader.
Do I
But
have to
on
bend over to get it?
Oh, of course. Why the fuck not? Even if it's up on a shelf, somehow we're gonna make it drop on the floor.
You got it.
But
Lucas, take us home.
Yeah, that's. I'm fucking tired. I'm ready to go to sleep. I think everyone else is as well too. It's yeah. Just want to say thank you to our sponsor, Blue Lotus. Usually Carl does this. I don't know where the fuck Carl is. He's much better at this. He says it with his beautiful French accent and his cap on and beautiful toys in the back. But I know they have their tournaments. I actually don't know, Jay. What is it on Saturday or Sunday?
Sundays at 2.
I was gonna say. I shouldn't be the one doing this, but because weekends I'm always out of the picture at work, so I have no clue what goes on the weekends. It could be 10 regionals going on. I'd be like, yeah, sure, whatever. Let's go look at the stream. But yeah, they got 2 p.m. Sunday events, so go sign up for those. Get your TPs, all that. Get your where are they? Look how fucking beautiful these new winter cards are. Like, I don't even give a shit about this poutine stuff, but just look at the art. I don't even give a shit about this stripper poutine, but come on. And the red, blue together, the multicolored ones actually look nice. This is 3 mana. I know. The 3 mana. I've been actually getting wins over there. I don't know what's going on. But, yes, I guess so. But, yeah, I think that's everything. Is there anything else? Okay, since Carl isn't here, Matt, you're gonna have to do something. I don't know.
Oh boy, God! You want to do do we all do a pose on 3?
Yeah, of course.
1,
Count us down.
2, 3. Did everyone do it?
The point was Matt was supposed to be the one to get caught, but hey, you got at least one person with you.
Yes.
We'll see.
Thank
you
you,
guys.
Brer.
My mind went right to Ginyu Force.